Welcome back to Life After Fire. By far the number one question I get when I tell people I retired early is, what are you going to do with all that free time? And it's a super valid question. I find it really interesting that a lot of us spend time budgeting for money, but we very rarely spend any time budgeting for time. So I'm going to take you all through a little exercise that I went through to decide how do I want to spend my time in early retirement. Anyone who's ever been on one of my teams is probably laughing right now because y'all know how much I love a good whiteboard session. But I'm telling you, it's one of the best ways to plan strategy. And I like to start by doing just a basic brainstorm. What are some of the things I want to be spending more time doing in early retirement? And then I can kind of plan things out from there. To me, extra time isn't worth near as much if I don't have my health. So one of the big things I know I want to go with first is I want to spend more time working out. The second thing I'll add to the list, not surprising probably for anyone, I definitely want to spend more time lounging around in my hammock. I mean, what's the point of early retirement if I can't lounge in my hammock? One of the things I've never been great at is just doing regular maintenance on the cars, the truck, the RV. I definitely want to spend more time doing preventative maintenance. This is a bit embarrassing, but outside of books for work, I haven't really read but a handful of books in the last 5 years. I really want to spend a lot more time reading. A big part of being healthy is eating right, so certainly I'm going to need to learn to cook a lot more food at home, so I'm going to add cook on here. Speaking of learning, one of the things that's going to be important for me in early retirement is to learn new skills that I don't currently have. If you watched the last video, you'll probably agree, I definitely have a lot I can learn about video editing. I really have been enjoying photography, so I'll add that. Certainly whether I'm retired or not, there's going to be chores around the house I need to do, so I'm going to add that to the board. A huge part of this early retirement journey is to have some more time to explore the places we're in. So I'm just going to write explore on here. One of my passions is I love to hike, so definitely want to spend more time hiking. My back has given me problems for a really long time, and probably the time that felt the best of any of the time I've had in my life is when I was doing yoga fairly regularly when I lived in San Diego, so I definitely want to get back into yoga. I've always wanted to learn how to speak Spanish, so I'm going to put that up here. Last year I joined Team Trainhill for an Ironman and did the relay portion of the swim. I really enjoyed being in the pool a few times a week, so I'm going to add swim. Since Heather's still working 3 days a week as a travel nurse, I'm going to take over the grocery shopping. So as I look at this list, there's some natural categorization I can do. And as I look at it, let me start by circling in red the things I have to do. I definitely will need to be working out. I definitely will need to get groceries. I'm definitely going to need to cook. Definitely going to need to do chores. Then I have a grouping of things that are more for learning and, I guess, education. So I'm going to circle those in blue. So I've got read, photography, video editing, Spanish. So my last category is looking to be leisure activities. So I'm going to circle hammock in green, hike, explore. Yoga and swim, you could argue, would be more the fitness category. I'm going to put swim in leisure, and I might go back and put yoga in the things I have to do. For me, that back health is critical. And so now as I take a look at the board, I have listed some of the goals that I have, some of the categories they fall in. This will make it a lot easier to build a calendar of how I want to spend my weeks. Okay, let's start with a blank calendar. So the first thing I want to add here, and this is a general life pro tip, let's put on the things I have to do. So I'm going to start on Sunday, and I'm going to add a block for the gym. And because this is a have to do, I'm going to mark this in red. I know I want to do the gym 3 times a week, so Wednesday looks like a good day. And I like to do Friday, because this gives me a bit of flexibility. If I have something going on Friday, I can always push this to Saturday instead. One of the places I plan to spend some time is here at Bodywise Gym in Austin. Going to a gym is going to be a bit of an adjustment for me. I'm used to just working out at my house with free weights in a room. But I'm really excited about all this extra equipment I'm going to have access to. So this is going to really align to one of my primary goals, which is to get in the best shape of my life. So we'll see how it goes. If I'm being honest, I've spent my entire life skipping leg day, but won't really have any excuses now, because there is plenty of leg equipment and otherwise. Next, I'm going to do some of the chores. I like to cook early in the week. I'm going to mark this one in orange because it's a have to do, but I can move around this time block. I also have an online to do section. I manage an Airbnb and returning emails and other stuff like that. And then I need to go grocery shopping. I like to do that on Friday so I have the food into the weekend to cook on Monday. And then if I want to cook something on Saturday or Sunday, maybe I want to smoke a brisket, then that way I've got the food ready to go for the weekend. So hands down, one of the things I like the most about living here in Texas is the unbelievable selection of meat that you can get here. Just check out these big old briskets. Now I get to fill in the fun stuff. Heather and I have a goal of spending at least one day a week exploring around Austin. So I'm going to add Adventure Day here on Tuesdays. I'm going to mark that in green. Heather typically works Thursday, Friday, Saturday, so that also gives us some flexibility between these days to move around chores and adventure time depending on what's going on. I also want to have a me day each week. So I'm going to put that one here on Thursday, and that's where I'm going to get my hiking in, reading. Then I've got my learning day. I'm going to mark that on Saturday. And right now I'm really focused on photography and video editing. I'm going to mark that in purple. I want my education blocks to be purple. I think Wednesday will also be a good day for some learning since I'm already doing some online stuff. I'll already be sitting here at the desk. My gym does yoga classes on Tuesdays and Thursdays from 7 to 8. So we're going to add a couple blocks here for yoga. Heather's usually off on Sundays, so we kind of have been doing chill days on Sunday. So I'm going to kind of mark that off as well. This is time I can spend reading, sitting in the hammock, maybe going down to the pool. So that's how I built my calendar. I would encourage everyone, whether you're early retired or not, do an exercise like this to see, are you spending the time you do have on things you really want to be doing? In future videos, we're definitely going to take a more in-depth look at how I'm going to be spending some of those blocks. In particular, the Explore and Adventure blocks. So stay tuned for that in the next video. This is Jeff J. O'Toole with Life After Fire.